Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Cheryl Schmidt from Vital Chiropractic. And today I have with me Miss Lindsey Perkins. She's an acupuncturist out on the island in Oak Harbor. I'm going to just read her bio here to start because she puts it in words much better than I do. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Lindsey. Lindsey is a licensed acupuncturist in the state of Washington and is board certified through the National Certification Commission for Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine. She graduated from Bastyr University with a master's in acupuncture and oriental medicine. During her time at Bastyr, Lindsey took a focus on women's health that included fertility, obstetrics, and menopause. She completed shifts at Harborview Medical Center in the Chronic Fatigue Clinic, Madison Clinic focusing on HIV and AIDS, and International Clinic treating immigrants and refugees from around the world. She's a member of the National Acupuncture Detoxification Association and has worked at Evergreen Treatment Services in Seattle, providing acupuncture to patients undergoing recovery from drug addiction. The same protocol taught can be used to help quit other addictions such as smoking and has been shown to help veterans suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder as well. She was able to travel to China and learn from two of the top traditional Chinese medicine universities. Now I'm going to say this right. In Chengdu.
Yeah,
she was able to follow doctors at the inpatient and outpatient wards in the hospital. She focused primarily on women's health that included fertility and pediatrics. In Shanghai, she focused her studies on traumatology and internal medicine. That experience was most valuable as she was able to bring what she learned in China and integrate it into her own practice, getting it from the source, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And she is married with one son who I know, and we were just talking about him briefly, and a whole year went past and I didn't even know. I thought he was a year and he's 2 years old now. She enjoys being outside as much as she can with her family, and she can, so I don't know if you still catch quiet moments with a 2-year-old?
They're brief. They're brief early in the morning, like at 5.
I'm catching up with my sleep then, lady. I don't know about you.
Not all the times do I get them.
So when you do that, you get to do some knitting, some reading, and some meditating. It's a great time of the day to do some meditating at that early morning hours and get your day off started right. So thank you for coming, Lindsey.
Yeah,
I am excited. Yeah, it's acupuncture. Acupuncture is awesome. So I don't know if you know this, but my go-tos when I was pregnant were chiropractic care, massage therapy, acupuncture, and of course my midwife and doula. And then I saw a naturopath if I needed to. So I am a big supporter of what acupuncturists do. And in fact, the developer of chiropractic, BJ Palmer, he spent a lot of time, I don't know if people know this very much about chiropractic, but he spent a lot of time over in China learning about Eastern medicine, and a lot of the philosophy of chiropractic is very congruent with Eastern medicine. So I think that is awesome. So welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate you having me.
You're welcome. Is there anything you want to add to what I just said there? Anything else that you're up to that's new since that, or what you're doing now?
What am I up to now? Taking care of my toddler that's running around.
I know, isn't that the truth?
Trying to keep up with everything, running a practice and running after him. So
yeah, your practice is in Oak Harbor.
Yes,
okay.
Correct.
How long have you been there for now?
So I opened up shop in 2015.
Okay.
Yeah.
So getting going.
Yeah. Yep. Getting going here in Oak Harbor.
So what drives you to do this work? What drove you to do acupuncture care?
So what drove me to do acupuncture just in general?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of started out and got my associate's degree, and I was going for pharmacology in the beginning. I kind of went back and forth. And I had a my great grandfather was a pharmacist back in the Great Depression. So I had this image in my head that I would be rolling my own capsules and having my own mortar and pestle. You just kind of have this image. And then I worked in a pharmacy, and it's very, very different from back then. And I had a little bit more of a reality. And so that was something I chose not to pursue after that. And I had a colleague now, a friend, who was pursuing acupuncture. And I decided to, look into that and research it more and more. And I really resonated with the medicine. And I was sold after my first acupuncture treatment. So that's how I started the acupuncture.
I don't know. This is a kind of a funny story, I guess, too, about myself. When I was in undergrad, I knew I wanted to do something in healthcare, but I didn't know I wanted to be a chiropractor right away. And I had some friends who were going in the pharmacology program, and I was like this close to going into pharmacology, and it didn't quite sit right with me. Like, it just wasn't like, I'm like, oh, it's healthcare. That's, you make pretty good money doing that. And it's it's decent hours and things like that. And, but it wasn't my drive. So I too was pretty close to going down that road.
Exactly. So you know exactly what it's like.
Yeah. So what was it about acupuncture that really interested you? What drew you in?
What drew me in? I like that it can really treat such an array of different things that the body has going on. So it can treat common cold, it can treat fertility, it can treat digestive disorders, sleep. It's really good for stroke and Parkinson's. It's just this huge array. It just treats pain. I just work with this. It has such a diversity, and I can pretty much pack my little box of needles and I can pretty much go. So I don't require a lot of supplies. And I really like the theory behind it in Chinese medicine. It's an ancient 2,500-year-old system, and it's really evolved over that time. So it has a really good resonance with me from a different standpoint from what we're used to in Western medicine.
Yeah, the whole philosophy is different, right?
Yes, it definitely is. It's based on a yin and yang theory and the balance in the body and how your body interacts with the environment and how your body responds to that. So it's a really good medicine to complement other modalities such as Western medicine, working with doctors and naturopaths and chiropractors, homeopathy. It's a great tool. Just like you said, when you did chiropractic and you saw your ND while you're pregnant, you had all of your all of your things in your toolbox to help you. And acupuncture is a great tool to complement. So,
yeah, it's about a whole support team, because not everybody is doing everything for you. So having the right people to support you in your ideas and your philosophy of your healthcare, having people that support you appropriately is key. So acupuncture, I think, really helped me get pregnant and maintain a healthy pregnancy and have, more energy during pregnancy. So I think it is awesome. So tell me about your services. Like what clients are you working with, and what kinds of things are you seeing? And
well, I focus on women's health, but I don't just treat women. I treat kids, I treat elderly. I kind of treat everybody. So which is really, really nice. And I offer acupuncture and cupping, and I do diet recommendations and nutrition advice. I do the herbal medicine part as well. So I treat just an array of people.
So tell me about kids, because I know that people, and myself included, I'm like, how would you do a young child? Because everybody thinks acupuncture, you need to do needles, which I understand isn't necessarily true. So what do you guys do when you have a young child that you're taking care of?
So typically with young children, if around 10 years old, they'll sometimes let me needle, but a lot of times I'll do tuning forks on them. So tuning forks, they have a vibration, and I put them on the acupuncture point, and it helps vibrate that point. which activates it. And kids are really malleable, so their energy is really influenced easily. So they don't really need the needles as much.
We're not stuck as bad, or we're stuck worse than the kids are. So
life is a little harder. We're a little bit older, so not as malleable as children are. And I have a lot of I have quite a few pediatrics that are they love coming in, and I'm very blessed to be able to see and watch them come in and express themselves and tell me what's going on with them, whether it's something that they went through in school or if it's something, emotionally that they're having, and being able to even, that also has a healing aspect. So working on multiple levels, but I do the tuning forks mostly on the kids. I don't do the needles.
Yeah. So for people who don't know anything about acupuncture, like have never been to one, all they know is that you go and you lay down and they put needles in your body and you come out maybe feeling better. Like that's about all they know. So what do you want to tell people about acupuncture and what it is and what it's about?
So acupuncture it's much different than Western medicine, where we're used to hypodermic needles, we're used to vaccinations, used to getting shots at the doctor, and that's kind of how we equate needles in our world in Western medicine. So the needles that I use are filiform, so they don't have that hole in the center, and they're kind of about the size of a cat whisker, if you can kind of imagine that. I tell a lot of my patients that, or people that are calling me asking about the needles because they have a fear of them. So they're very, very tiny. A lot of times people won't feel them going in, and sometimes they do. You do have a nervous system, so anytime you do insert something, you may have a sensation, but a lot of times with acupuncture, it's kind of this dull or heaviness kind of feeling, and sometimes you don't feel anything at all. And the way it works on the body is that if you imagine what we call meridians in the body, and if you can think of it as highways, and a lot of times those highways in the body, kind of like our Seattle traffic when you're trying to get to the airport, you get heavy volumes right before the city and things kind of stagnate and you get a lot of traffic, and that can kind of happen in the body where energy, blood, that all can basically stagnate in the body. And what acupuncture does is it helps open up those highways, those meridians that we call, and it has an influence on the lymphatic system, and it has an influence on energy in the body, the blood circulation, the endocrine system. So it really has an overall effect on the body. And that's kind of how I explain it to patients that, don't quite, haven't had it in their life.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people who haven't had it in their life just because of fear of the unknown or fear of needles, or just not familiar with Eastern medicine ideas or holistic health. So
yes. And I get them called in and they say, all right, well, this is my last ditch effort. I'm going to try acupuncture because I have a fear of needles. And then they come in and I call them acupuncture junkies, because then they get hooked and they fall asleep on the table and they're so relaxed. So it's great. It's a great tool.
Yeah, there's so many congruencies with acupuncture and chiropractic, where you talk about meridians and we talk about neurological pathways. It's much the same philosophy. And the same thing happens too, last ditch effort, because they've heard horror stories or they're afraid of getting their back cracked, and not all chiropractors are cracking backs. It's and there's a different technique. So explaining that to people, and then they come in, they realize how great they feel and how easy it was, and it wasn't scary. And so I think it's awesome.
I know it's hard to convince people about needles, and they're like, I don't know how you can fall asleep with needles in you. And I'm like, trust me, just try it. And
Yeah. And I did a few times. I've had acupuncture treatments. They're so relaxing.
Yes.
Any other misconceptions that you can think of that we need to dispel?
I think that probably just the needles in general are a big hurdle to kind of get over. And it's becoming more mainstream, especially up here in the Northwest, because it's just, we have a lot of acupuncturists and and kind of have a lot more alternative medicine options up here. So I think the needles are the biggest one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think maybe what I see anyway is that the array of things that you work with and people that you treat, from infants and children, because a lot of people don't think you can work on children,
Yes.
To helping things that maybe seem like they're unhelpable or chronic conditions. And PTSD,
Yes.
I mean, not too many people know that you can help with PTSD, or trying to get people who are addicted off of their addictions, like smoking.
Yep.
So,
cessation. So it really helps with the opioid crisis that we're having here in the United States, and for people that are trying to get off. I always work with doctors while they're weaning off, but in general, it's very good. It helps with their stress and anxiety and their cravings. So that's why I love this medicine. It really helps with such an array. I can treat allergies 1 hour and then treat fertility the next, and treat stroke the next hour. So it's really fun.
Because everybody has this energy in their body.
Yes.
So you can treat everyone. It's the same with chiropractic. Everyone has a nervous system and a brain, and we want it to be functioning properly at all times. So it doesn't matter what you're dealing with. With chiropractic, we do, we don't have a certain segment that you adjust for a certain ailment. It's more about balancing the whole body and balancing the neurology and letting the body heal itself. Now, does acupuncture, does it kind of follow that same philosophy, or is it more pinpoint on they have this symptom, so this is the point you always use?
There are an array of points that we can use for a specific diagnosis. But for example, if I have a patient that comes in with migraines, migraines can be pretty complicated in the diagnosis. It's not just a one size fits all, like, oh, you have migraines, you have this, I'm going to do these points. It really depends on if they've had any head trauma, if they've had, if they're women, I look at their menstruation, if they have any issues with that, because it deals with the blood system in the body. So we really look at it from a different point of view and choose our points accordingly, so it's not always just, oh, migraines, this point, and that point. It's it's a little bit more detailed, and sometimes I'll use it along the back, which has an influence on the nervous system, and then I do a lot of distal needling, and the distal needling is more in the hands and the feet, the ankles and legs and arms.
My mom actually, she started going to chiropractic because she suffered from migraine headaches. And so they were just throwing medications at her at first. And even sometimes some chiropractors go, headaches have to be something in the neck. Usually there's something in the neck. But with her, it was related to her hormonal levels. So they started working on her lower back and working on her adrenal glands and things like that. Then her headache started going away. So it wasn't necessarily cervicogenic from your neck, but other. So that's a key difference, I think, with holistic medicine, is that we're looking at the whole body, the whole history, the whole picture of someone, and working with that.
Exactly. It's kind of like in Chinese medicine, we look at, like, say, migraines. Are they from an excess, or are they from a deficient standpoint? So sometimes when they're from a deficient standpoint, really uptake and recommend different foods to incorporate into their diet. We look at herbal medicine or supplements to really help build them back up.
Yeah. And I have to say that some of your supplements do not taste very good at all.
I know. I try to work with that, because I know my teeth can be pretty nasty, especially my allergies. The allergy patients that I see, those herbs can be pretty bitter. So I do offer capsules. I do have a company that encapsulates.
I know they work. They're great, but man,
they are
very good.
I know.
We're so spoiled. Maybe we want it to taste like gummy bears or something. I don't know.
Exactly. It's like, nope, I'm so sorry. You're just going to have to choke it down. But no, I do have capsules, because we're so used to taking pills in Western medicine that I try to meet my patients, where they're at in their comfort level too. And so get them to take them. If I can get them in capsule form, then that's best.
So everyone always has the question about costs of things, or I call it the investment, because I think you're investing in your health. So And I'm sure, I know there's studies in chiropractic showing that if people are under chiropractic care, they spend less money overall in their healthcare. So I look at it as actually saving money. And I'm sure it's the same thing in acupuncture. People who are investing in their health are going to actually save money in the long run.
Yeah.
So, but for those people who have the question, like, does insurance company cover acupuncture care now? Is it mostly cash? How does that work with people?
So in my practice, it kind of fluctuates. I have cash paying patients, and then I have insurance and stuff. So I do take insurance, and more insurance is kind of being on board with covering acupuncture. We just they only allow 12 visits, a lot of plans, but some of them are allowing 24, which is really nice because then I can see them twice a month technically for a year, which is really great. And then some people have copays and some people don't, and it really just kind of depends on their plan. And I always check my patients' benefits. So that's one way of working around, is to check with the insurance companies and take advantage if they're offering those services to you.
Yeah. And I will say that the people that I know who I take care of, the people who do more holistic healthcare practices and take care of their body and are proactive with their health are spending so much less long-term on their health, on their, like, not doing as many medications, or hospitalizations are less, their need to go to a medical doctor are less. So even if you're paying 100% out of pocket, saving yourself money. So that's how I do that. And I think a lot of our patients are doing that, like HSA plans and things like that to help pay for things.
Yeah, exactly. And I always tell my patients if you want to get the most out of the acupuncture treatments, most of the diet recommendations and lifestyle changes that I recommend, if they're really active in their health and really active in their healing process, then I see them get even more benefit from it. So being really active is wonderful. When I have patients that are like, oh, I did that technique, that meditation technique that you taught me, and that really helped me with this during, a stressful time in my life, where I thought I was going to have a panic attack, and it really took the edge off. So it really helps. The tools that I also recommend for kind of their homework that they do.
Well, health isn't just you come in and someone fixes you and you go out and you can have your 6-pack of beer and abuse your body and all those kind of stuff, and then come back and have someone fix you again. I mean, that can only work for so long before your body just wears down. So we're doing the same thing too, educating people on how to be healthy outside of the office so that they don't need as much care inside of the office, and to be able to maintain their health and live a whole new level of health. So exactly. I read that you like working with people who are invested in their health. That's like kind of your ideal patient. And that is, I think, all of our ideal patients, because they get so much better and they're healthier and they're happier.
And they're active in their health. They're taking an active role in that, which is very, very important when you're trying to get healthy. Like, oh, she recommended I'm going to eat some more beets, or I'm going to do this, and I'm going to take my Chinese herbs today, and I'm going to, it really works out for them in the long run to be really active, because it's a part of taking care of yourself. It's not just, like you said, going and getting fixed and then, drinking, your 6-pack at night. So,
and sometimes people, and to be honest, some people don't really want to do that. They don't want to work,
and they don't, and that's completely fine. I try and say, hey, all right, well, I understand that you want to do this, but hey, let's add this into your diet and kind of supplement you that way. So I try and work around people's lifestyles, because there's some people that I'm not going to give this up. Okay, that's fine. We'll add something else in.
And baby steps, right? Baby steps. We can't overwhelm somebody like, oh, I have like all these exercises for you to do, and I want you to not eat this food anymore, and I want you to take these supplements, and they're like, whoa.
No, I never get a response out of that. It's always baby steps. I always kind of, start very, very slow. Take one thing at a time.
So do you have any other I don't have any more questions for you, really. Do you have anything else you wanted to share that I didn't ask you? Any points you wanted to let us know? What's going on in your office these days?
Let's see here. What else nothing's going on in the office. Well, Not too much. I'm just seeing patients right now. It's been busy. Just kind of seeing more people stressed with the holidays, you know. So that's kind of a main one that's been coming in right now, is a lot of people, families coming in, and they have to run and do all the errands and get everything perfect and ready. So a lot of people are coming and calling for stress. So that's kind of what's going on in the office right now. But
that just makes me want to take like a deep breath, like,
I know.
Just relax.
Yes, exactly. I think it'll all get done.
Well, in our Pinterest era, I call it the Pinterest era, or Facebook filter, also, everyone wants to do everything perfectly and have like do all the crafts and have to make the I don't know. I would be on the Pinterest fails board all the time because I wouldn't be able to do that. But there's a lot of pressure to do things, and so that stress level is getting higher and higher. So I think I'm telling everybody out there that you don't need to have everything perfect for Christmas.
Exactly.
Just do what you want to do. It's supposed to be a holiday that you enjoy. So try not to like keep up with the Joneses and all that kind of stuff. So
I try and go very slow. My son and I have been making kind of some cookies, and just, he's, you know, tearing the house up with decorations, you know. So he kind of just, you know, he definitely guides me.
Yeah. And you have to just let those little people guide you if you're a parent, because otherwise you're battling all the time, and that's just no fun. So.
No, no, that's definitely not good.
Well, I don't have any more questions for you. So if anybody has any questions for myself or Lindsey, you can leave comments in the comment box. We'd be happy to get back to you. Like I said, Lindsey's in Oak Harbor. I'm up here in Mount Vernon at Vital Chiropractic. I will post up. Actually, I'm going to put a click on here for your website where people can reach you.
Thank you.
It is vitalrootsacupuncture.com. You can reach me at vitalchiro.com or here on Facebook. And feel free to, you have a Facebook page too, Lindsey?
I do have a Facebook page, yes.
Yep. Do you know what Vital Roots Acupuncture?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm not techno savvy, but yeah.
I'll try to find you, and then I'll link it in the comments so people can go on and like your page, and feel free to like my page. We'll have other information coming up. I know you put lots of very awesome content on your website and your Facebook page. So feel free to like both of our pages and follow us along, and give Lindsey a call if you're looking for an awesome, beautiful, heart-centered acupuncturist. So thank you all.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I will see you later.
All right. See you soon.